Ross Jenkins, home game on Saturday, the benefits of being at home. First of all, it's going to be tough, it's going to be Barnet, but how's the squad in terms of injuries?
Yeah, it's the same as probably the last couple of weeks. We've been hit with a few injuries that have killed us a little bit. Boys that rarely get injured, so it's the first time we sort of experienced this sort of squad without some key members, some boys that came through last season and were very influential from last season as well. So I think it's a difficult period in terms of injuries, but you know, there's been some promising signs on the pitch in terms of performances and boys stepping into some big shoes and trying to fill those boots. So yeah, it's been a difficult one to deal with the amount of injuries we have had. And yeah, trying to get these boys back over the next week or so is really important. So if we can do that, I think we'd be better for it.
Now, the table doesn't lie, it's a statistics-based game, and as I've often said to many managers in the past, not just you, there's not a column that says we played well, we should have had a point out of it, but we didn't. But you're still in games, and it's just sort of going the wrong side of the line, if that makes sense. How does that affect morale? How are you feeling with the boys, and how are the boys themselves feeling?
Weirdly fine, because you know we come off the Bromley game, and you know Andy Woodman's a very honest man, and you know we shook hands. He said, you know, we got away with one there, and we were good. We played some really good stuff. We controlled the first half. The difference is they had a couple half chances and scored, and we had a couple and didn't, and that was pretty much the game. You know, they made a few changes at half time that affected them and made them better. But in terms of going to a strong Bromley team with 7 boys sat in the stands watching who would pretty much be starters, and to still put in a performance but not get the win, I think the fans saw it as well. Listen, we can't moan about it. We've got a squad and we've got to use it, but I think that the main thing is that we stick to what we're trying to do. It'd be easy to go off topic and to go off task and to rip it up and start again, but you know, these boys are not going to be injured forever. It's a small little gap in the fixture list that we've got to try and fill ourselves out and try and do what we can while they're out. But when they're back, then we're back to business again. So we've shown that we've had 7 game unbeaten with a decent squad that are pretty fit, bar Zach McEachran at that time. Now we've been hit with a few more injuries and it's killed us slightly, and that's probably the reality of football, but the table doesn't lie. I think that when you look at it on a Sunday, you see it's a red or a loss or whatever sort of app you're looking at. But if you actually are at the game and you watch the games, then it's a different story to tell. But yeah, that doesn't win games of football, telling a story. But the boys have to take confidence that every game we've played, we've been in, but we just need to be a bit more ruthless and defend both boxes a little bit better. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I've said this a couple of times, that if we were getting buried and we didn't have a sniff, or we were not creating chances or getting dominated for 90 minutes, I think it's a tough ask. But it's not that at all, and it's only until you come and watch that you probably see it. From the outside, it looks like a small club got promoted struggling. That's what it looks like. But from the inside, we know it's not that, so we've got to stay positive and stay focused.
What will Barnet bring to the party?
Experience, lots of experience. They're on a really good form. They're doing really well. They've strengthened from last season. I thought they were a good team last season. They've added some more quality and some experience. You know, they've added a good striker as well, and Gary Hooper, who, yeah, it's a handful. Top goal scorer, I think he's on 11 goals. You know, they've got some experience. They've got pace. They've got fight. They've got organisation. They've got a mixture of everything you need to get out of this league, and that's what we're up against every week. So yeah, I think every game's a big one. Obviously, Barnet are flying. They're doing really well. They've got a good equaliser against Solihull, which showed they've got some fight in them still, not to roll over. So we've got to be ready for that. But at the same time, we're at home. Yes, we are short on bodies, but you know, at home we normally put on a good display. So good confidence coming back from the boys who played, who haven't had too many minutes. We had some really standout performances against Willstone. Few good individual moments and games, so we've got to take that into Barnet now, because it's going to be a tough game. But you know, we've got to go into every game with nothing to fear and go show our stuff, and when we do that, we normally play quite well.